and we need to pray. Very, very important, please. Indeed, we trust, O Elohim, on this very special day that only you have made, that we remember your sons and your daughters that perish that we may live, those who sacrifice their lives to protect their children, to protect their families, to protect their loved ones, to protect their nation, Biafra. It is unto thee that we repose every trust. You will not allow this generation that they fought for to be put to shame. You will not allow our enemies to triumph over us. For no one hopes in you and ever come out in shame. But shame shall encompass all of them who are treacherous. Shame shall be the portion of all the saboteurs, both dead and living. Shame shall become and will be the portion of those that persecute your children. You will show us your way, for we are nothing without thee. You will teach us your paths. You will guide us in your truth. You will teach us, O Elohim, because you are Chukwokika Biama, our Savior and our Redeemer, and our hope is in you and you alone. Every day, every morning, every night, we ceaselessly call upon your holy name, that you may have mercy upon us, that your love and your grace may abide within us. Do not remember the sins of our youth. Do not remember the sins of our fathers and our ancestors. Do not count our rebellious ways against us. According to your love, O Elohim, please have mercy upon us and give us Biafra in our time. For we are upright in thy word. For we are guided by the instructions you have laid down in your commandments, that sin may not have any hold over us. Come and guide us in your humble way, and teach us to be that which you have destined us to become. For we have no other God apart from thee. We have no other creator apart from thee. For the sake of your name, not for anything that we may have done, not for any righteousness that we may have possessed. Elohim, forgive us our iniquity and have mercy upon us. Grant us Biafra in our time, that your name may be exalted, that your name may be praised, that your name, O Elohim, may be lifted up above every other name, now and forevermore, we pray. He said, Mama Deregi Chineke. Mama Deregi Chineke.
Welcome, my amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much, and remember, in this channel, we'll talk about the real things that are happening in that country called Nigeria. More especially, issues that concerns the southeastern part of Nigeria and the southwestern part of Nigeria, the Biafrans and the Odudua, and every other person that is genuinely fighting for freedom. Anybody fighting for freedom genuinely should be able to identify him or herself with Biafra or Odudua. These are the way we know the true freedom fighters. You cannot tell me that you are fighting for freedom and you can't identify yourself with Odudua or Biafra. You must have to identify with one of these groups so that we can know that you are genuinely fighting for freedom. That is the only way to make us know that you are genuine. Because the only people we know that are speaking the voice of the masses as of now is the Biafrans and Odudua, and they have the majority. They are speaking the voice of the poor masses, fighting for their life. A fight for life. That is what is going on in Nigeria. Fight for life. Fighting for their life on a daily basis. There might be other groups that are still talking. There might be other groups that are in their own opinion which I do not disagree with them 100%. I agree with some of them, but I might not agree with some opinion they have. Somebody like Sowore. Sowore is somebody who is fighting for freedom also. He's doing a very good job. He's doing a great job, and you can see Sowore himself is identifying with every other group. He identified with Biafrans, he identified with the Oduduwans, he identified with the other group, in as much as he is trying to fight his own on a different direction. We cannot castigate him. That is his own choice. He has made a choice on how to fight against this tyrannic regime. He is talking about revolution. There are so many other groups that are fighting for freedom also, genuinely fighting for freedom. Groups like the Take It Back by Sowore. You can see Take It Back by Sowore, they are doing a great job. But we don't agree on everything, in as much as we are pursuing the same goal, freedom for everybody. We do not want a freedom we are going to get with our own life, and we are not looking for a freedom to remain in Nigeria. We are looking for a freedom to have self-determination on our own side. That is when Sowore is calling for revolution. That revolution he's calling for is the same revolution we are calling for, but we are aiming on different things. He might be talking of re-establishing Nigeria and making it work. Nigeria can never work. For us, we are looking for a revolution that will give us that autonomy, that will make us to have our self-determination. The same way the Oduduwa group are looking for their self-determination. But we have a common enemy. This is the time for us to unite. It doesn't matter the group you belong to. You might be Take It Back, you might be Biafra, you might be Oduduwa. Whatever group you belong, we are fighting against the common enemy. The Fulani Janjaweed that want to take our land and subjugate us and make us slaves. But the difference in all these groups is that some groups are looking for amendment in that very Nigeria, while some groups are looking for a total disintegration so that we can be able to have our freedom. Let us unite together and fight against that common enemy. Do not talk against anybody. Anybody that is fighting against this construction of morons that call themselves governments and governance, support that person. You can see Sowore himself coming for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case. He appeared in the court many times. So we don't have to fight against him. He that is not against us is with us. It doesn't matter, people might have different ideology on how they fight him. Sowore is much more better than some idiots that are making noise, saying that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu doesn't know how to do it, but yet they have nothing to offer. There are so many people, they are online talking, he doesn't know how to do it, he doesn't know how to do it, he is too harsh, but they are not doing anything. They are not doing anything. The only person that is doing something on the ground that we can see is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And another person that is doing something on the ground we can see is Sowore. At least Sowore is on the ground. He has been persecuted so many times. Even as we speak, he's been persecuted. He's been restricted to Abuja. He cannot move out of Abuja. You can see most of the time videos flying around where they intimidate him, they plan to kill him and all that. But it's a high time he himself will know that these people do not understand that language he wants to speak. There was a time I was feeling that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was speaking that language. But the Janjaweed never understand that language until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu changed the language for them to speak the language that they understand. That is exactly the language we are speaking now. And the time is now. It doesn't matter what they do. They will kill us. We will kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra will come. Oduduwa will come. The contraption called Nigeria will end totally. There will never be anything that will be called Nigeria anymore. Every section will go to their own separate ways. If at the end of the day we decide to come back together, so be it. We can come back together. But if we decide to choose to stay on, we will stay on our own. That does not stop us from doing business. It doesn't stop us from having friends. It doesn't stop us from intermarrying if we want to. But for us to have our security, to keep our zone safe, keep our land and keep that which belongs to us, we must have to disintegrate this very contraption so that we all can be safe. Before I go, let me share with you one of the interviews that was granted to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Watch that interview to refresh yourself. After watching the interview, you will be refreshed, and now you can have an answer to so many questions that you are asking. There are so many interviews that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have granted in the past that people have not seen. There are so many brokers that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have made in the past that so many people have not seen, and people are still asking questions on that very session. That is why a time and again I bring on some of his brokers, some of his interviews to answer some questions that people are asking. So let us listen to this very interview, what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has to say.
Why are you still fighting the struggle to have independence for Biafra?
We are fighting for independence, not fighting physically with guns and bullets. We are fighting in terms of our agitation. We are fighting in terms of our belief. We're fighting in terms of our consistency to ensure that we are free, because we're not free. As a free people, we can afford to make life better for our people. Right now, we can't do that because of how Nigeria is structured and because of the very flawed foundations upon which Nigeria rests.
You called for a referendum latest this year, November, you said, I think.
Yes.
If that doesn't happen, what's the way forward? Because the way it looks like the government will definitely not agree to that.
Then there'll be no elections in Biafra land. No more elections here. They can put whoever they like in office. They can do whatever they like with their political positions. We will not engage in any political process.
You said it's a peaceful struggle, but
Yes.
there are some videos of you appearing in the past, especially abroad, in particular in one conference in the US, where you said you need weapons to defend yourself. You need guns and ammunition. How can we understand that in the context that you're saying it's a peaceful struggle?
I'm sure you've heard about the Fulani headsmen killing people all over the place. Have you heard about it? Of course. Exactly. So how do you intend to defend yourself against Fulani headsmen without guns and bullets? They've been killing our people, raping our women, destroying crops in the farms, and no one does anything about it. Is that how human beings are supposed to live?
So, and you have the right to arm yourself and defend yourself with arms in that context?
Self-defense is recognized even by all the known laws of the UN. Is that not correct? We have the right. If somebody were to barge into this very interview now wielding a machete or an AK-47, are you suggesting we should let them get away with it?
You were detained for almost 2 years, from 2015 on, and actually there was no trial. No trial ever happened, and despite several court rulings that said you were supposed to be released, you were not released.
Yes.
Do you think you were treated in a fair way by the government? Or rather also by the justice system?
No, not fairly, because Nigeria is not a civilized country. People behave like animals. They are not reasonable enough. They are not disciplined enough. They are not mentally developed enough to run a transparent civil society. For them, they have a feudal mindset where you have the ruling class and, a multitude of poverty-stricken people who never utters any word in rebellion or to even ask questions about their plight. That is one thing we are determined to challenge.
Don't you think you insult a lot of Nigerians with that?
I'm being very kind, to be honest. I could have used far more harsher words to describe them. I'm being very kind.
So generally you don't think very positive of your countrymen then, obviously?
They are not... When you say positive, no, as individuals, perhaps there are a few good people amongst them, but as a collective, this is an absolute mess. And you can see for yourself. Didn't you go through the roads and see how horrible they are? Didn't you see how unkempt everywhere is? How filthy and dirty everywhere is? That is the product of a Nigerian system that is uniquely backwards, even by the very third world standards of Black Africa. That's the fact, and people must face up to it.
Well, I traveled in the north quite extensively, and I went to very remote areas sometimes where you would still find Igbo people living there, peaceful together with communities in the north. Don't you sometimes think that you might endanger their peaceful coexistence with the communities there, that they might get into trouble with that?
So if they're living so peacefully together, or cohabiting so peacefully as you put it, how come you hear about all those uprisings in the north where southern Christians are being slaughtered and nothing gets done about it? Are you telling me that that is normal? People are in the north out of a dire need, necessity more or less, to try and survive. Because here, the entire production process has been emasculated by people and policies that are geared towards ensuring that our people exist in perpetual state of poverty. And that is unacceptable to us. What we're asking the world to recognize is that we want to live in peace, not in pieces. We want to live in peace, just to allow us to be. Allow Biafra to exist. We were existing before the British came. Just allow us to go back to, what we were before. No African came to Europe to create countries. So for somebody to just come in here and say, you, from today, your name is Nigeria, is simply laughable.
After listening to the interview, I hope you have gotten some insight on the fate of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, what he desired and what he's fighting for. I hope you have gotten the insight. As time goes on, more interviews will be played, and those questions you are asking that you think has not been answered, you will see the answers. I tell you that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has put everything required in place. He has made every necessary arrangement for you and I to be safe and secure, for you and I to know what to do. Anybody that doesn't know what to do and how to protect himself is on his or her own. You intentionally want to give your life to the danger which will kill you. That is what it means. You can't tell me you are not hearing the message. He has said it all. May Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to protect Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. May Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to guide Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, secure him wherever he is. May Chukwu Okike Abiama bring him back to us as soon as possible. We believe that he is coming back soon, stronger than ever, with the flag of Biafra flying high. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, blessed. See you again on the next video. Bye-bye.